Hey, my name is Sean Smith and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I'm sure you guys all have been hearing about Hurricane Laura and the devastation it caused to southwest Louisiana. Hurricane Laura, it made landfall just 2 hours to the west of me in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I live south of Baton Rouge. We really didn't get much damages down here except for a few trees down. We got some rain, we got some wind, nothing much. Nowhere near to the damage caused to the west of me in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I got a lot of questions with Laura. You know, I got a lot of questions with your girl Laura and what she did to Lake Charles. My heart goes out to the people in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Pray for the people that's in Lake Charles because they're going through it right now with the recovery efforts to Hurricane Laura. I have a lot of questions with Laura and what it did. Like a lot of questions about Laura and a lot of questions about the weather. The past couple of years has just been off to me. Again, not just with Hurricane Laura, with the California wildfires that they've been having now and the past couple of years, they've just been off. It's just been off. The weather just been off. You know what I mean? First, I'm just going to get into Hurricane Laura because, now the reason why I have so many questions about Hurricane Laura is because Laura was a strong Category 4, borderline Category 5 hurricane with winds up to 150 miles per hour. That's a lot, you know, and it looked like this as it was approaching the Texas-Louisiana state borderline. I was watching live coverage all over the Weather Channel as Laura was making landfall, and everybody was saying, like, where's the storm surge? That's why everybody left and evacuated the area. That was the main reason why people left the Lake Charles surrounding areas, because of the storm surge. They predicted 15 to 20 feet of storm surge. That's life threatening. They can't survive that. That's why a lot of people left. And a lot of people were like, where's the storm surge? Where is the storm surge? Yeah, the wind did a lot of damage. People were talking about the wind. Everybody was talking about the wind. The wind was hellish. The wind did a lot of damage. I ain't gonna lie. The wind a lot of shit up. Pray for the people that's in Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the surrounding area. But it was all about the water. They kept saying 20 feet of storm surge, you can't survive it. It's unsurvivable storm surge. And then the hurricane hit, and there was no storm surge. No storm surge. Now, it's not just the fact. The part that shocks me isn't that the weather people lied to us potentially. It's not that they lied to us. It's the fact that, before I start saying this, I'm glad that the storm surge didn't happen, because if the 15 to 20 foot of storm surge would have, and thank God that the storm surge that they forecasted didn't end up happening, because a lot more people would have lost their lives. The part that shocks me the most is not that the Weather Channel lied to us. It's the fact that a Category 4, borderline Category 5 hurricane, landfalling hurricane, did not produce any storm surge at all. Now I'm sure, it produced a little high tide and a little water rise. It showed water covering up the roads in Cameron's Parish, but I know I have family members who live down there, and that happens when a regular thunderstorm passes by the area. That don't happen by a Category 4 hurricane. I'm glad that the storm surge didn't happen, but it's shocking to me. You would think that as large as Laura was, winds of 150 miles per hour, you would push a colossal storm surge in the Gulf of Mexico onto the Texas-Louisiana state borderline. You would think that it would be pushing hella storm surge. 150 mile an hour winds with a storm this big didn't produce any storm surge. What the hell? Where do you see that at? And if they were talking about it did produce some storm surge 10 feet, no it did not. No it didn't. Show me the storm surge. I'm glad that it didn't produce storm surge. Again, I want to keep saying that. I don't want the wrong message to be called like I wanted to storm surge. I'm glad that it didn't happen, but I'm just shocked. You know what I mean? That's not something you see every day or would know every storm. Like, I've seen tropical storms produce more storm surge than Hurricane Laura. For real. And as big as Laura was, as strong as Laura was, it didn't produce a storm surge. Like, yeah, it has some water covering up the roads in Cameron Parishes, but we see that on the typical thunderstorm day. And I know that because I have family members living down there. And the reason why that shocks me so much, what I want you to do. I want you to get a bowl. Pause this video. Get a bowl, a huge bowl out your kitchen cabinet, and fill it up with water. fill it up with water, right? And then I want you to blow on it as hard as you can. Of course, you can't blow 150-mile-an-hour winds out your breath. You're gonna blow my fucking house down. But I want you to blow on that bowl of water as hard as you can, and you will start to see waves form, and the waves crashing onto the bowl and out of the water and falling onto your kitchen floor. That is what a storm surge is with a hurricane, except that the wind is not coming from your mouth, it's coming from a storm, and it's not going 5 to 10 miles per hour, it's going 150 miles per hour. So you would think that 150-mile-an-hour wind blowing in the Gulf of Mexico will push a colossal storm surge next to the Louisiana-Texas state borderline, and it just didn't happen. I've seen tropical storms produce more storm surge than Laura, and that got me thinking, what the hell? Something isn't right. That ain't right. Come on, y'all. A Cat 4, damn near Cat 5 with no storm surge. I see if the Weather Channel would have forecasted 20 feet of storm surge, but Laura only produced 12. They forecasted 15 to 20 feet, and I think they only got 2 feet. Like, it's for real. I've seen tropical storms produce more storm surge than that. That's almost physically impossible for a landfalling Category 4 hurricane with winds 150 miles per hour producing no storm surge. When do you see that? Look it up. Look every last Category 4 hurricane up, and look up this Harvey storm surge, Rita storm surge. Like, that's like her saying that Hurricane Katrina didn't produce a storm surge. Like, it's now, so that had me thinking, this isn't right. That ain't something you see with a Cat 4 hurricane. I'm glad the storm surge didn't happen. I'm gonna keep saying that, but that got me thinking. Now, I'm not saying this. Don't quote me on this, but the weather's been off. I'm sure we all could say the weather has been off the couple of years with hurricanes and the California wildfires and just weather. And I'm like, don't quote me on this again, but if the government does find out a way to control the weather, we are all, I just want to say that, we are fucked. We are fucked. Like, what is happening with this? Like, this is the government, someone trying to control the weather, trying to figure out, like, Laura was a test to see how they could stop the storm surge from happening with hurricanes, because that doesn't happen. Or let me know in the comments if you know somebody that knows better than me. Is there some weird phenomenon that happens with Category 4 hurricanes or strong hurricanes that stop the storm surge from happening? Is that a weird phenomenon that I do not know about? Let me know in the comments if you know better than me. But if there isn't, you see how crazy that is, right? I'm just saying, if the government figures out, or someone figures out a way to control the weather, we're all, maybe they were testing out Hurricane Laura and like how to build a hurricane to stop the storm surge. But just how crazy that is, 150-mile-an-hour winds. If we have 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing in the Gulf of Mexico, we're gonna get some waves. 150-mile-an-hour winds, people, would produce a colossal storm surge like it did during Katrina, Rita. Rita hit the same exact area as Lake Charles, as Laura. And Lake Charles was underwater during Hurricane Rita. Every hurricane is different, but Lake Charles was underwater during Hurricane Rita, and it hit the same exact area, and Rita hit as a Category 3. Laura hit as a strong Category 4, borderline 5, and they had a lot of wind damage, but Lake Charles was like no flooding at all. You would think that Lake Charles would have flooded rapidly because they're surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico to the south, the Sabine River, and the Lake Charles, the actual lake. They're surrounded by water, and they didn't know water at all. Something ain't right. Again, if someone figures out, or the government, or I don't know, figures out a way to control the weather, we are. Now, it's not just with hurricanes, with the California wildfires that's currently going on right now. But I want to talk about this was a big old conspiracy theory back in 2018 with the Woolsey fire and how the fire was picking and choosing, and how they were saying it was lasers and all that other type of shit. Weather just been off the past couple of years, and the Weather Channel, it was just like I found it shocking that the Weather Channel just gonna speed back past that, like y'all didn't just say what y'all just said. Like that just didn't happen. Like y'all predicted 20 feet of storm surge, and we only got two feet of storm surge. I don't even think we got two. We probably got even less than that. That was just high tide. That wasn't storm surge, bitch. That was high tide. That was just high tide on a regular thunderstorm. That wasn't not the storm surge you will see produced by a Category 4 hurricane, bitch. A wind of 150 miles per hour. That's not the storm surge you will see from that. You know? I've seen tropical storms produce more. That's something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm just saying. We have more features out in the Atlantic that I'm gonna be probably keeping my eyes on, because I'm in Louisiana and we are vulnerable to hurricanes. I just wanted to come on here and make this video because I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but like, look up every landfalling Category 4 hurricane and see if they produced a storm surge. Yes, they did, and it was deadly and it was bad. Again, I'm not wishing no harm on anybody. I'm glad the storm surge did not end up producing, but how strange and deranged that is, you know? Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube, my video, so I know you're there. And oh Lord Jesus, can 2020 get worse? Can 2020 get more catastrophic and dramatic than this? Oh Lord Jesus. Tracking 2020.